Hey, Kajaria. How are you today? So, actually, I came on to do this live stream to see if I could do the thing where I can bring people up to talk to me. But for whatever reason, it ain't working. Um, it ain't working on my situation, and I don't know why. So I've been pressing buttons, but it's like it's not showing me the full screen. So this was kind of like a test run before Monday gets here, and me and RJ get ready to fry some chicken together. So for whatever reason, it's not showing me the stuff that I need. Thanks for the hearts. See, I'm over here doing what I told y'all I don't do, is be touching on stuff on this here phone that I ain't never touched before, cuz I don't know what I'm doing. But anyways, I had came live. I was trying to do the thing where I bring somebody up, so I may have to do it a different way. I'm gonna keep on doing different lives or whatever, bringing stuff up so that I can figure out how we gonna do this live where we fry chicken together before Monday get here. So but anyways, how y'all been doing tonight? I see it's like four of y'all in here. Shout out to the ones that's in the bushes. Thanks for coming through and showing support, even though you don't say anything. It's a pleasure to have here. But over here, you don't have to be afraid to talk. Hey Sparrow. Um, Enoch, hi, how are you? You don't have to be afraid to talk over here in this chat over here. We are very friendly unless you are not friendly to us. And then too, we still sometimes give grace on ones, or we ignore you or kick you up out of here. But that is it, and that is all. But how was y'all day today? I had a pretty good day today. Spent a lot of time talking. I just finished talking to my kids, I think, for about a good 3 hours. Just several of them around or whatever, and just talking. So, and I was like, and I'm not finna rush them. I'm just like, well, how long is this conversation gonna go on? Am I gonna be able to go live tonight? Maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I just carried on having good conversation, and it don't be like it's good conversations, because if you have kids and you made mistakes before or whatever, that's a lot of what our conversation was just about, some of the mistakes that we make as parents or whatever. Um, because there's no handbook, there's no perfection, but your kids remember what happened back in the days, and we just having a conversation, and a couple of things my son brought up to me, and I was just like, okay, I'll eat that. You write it. You write about that. I could have did something different. Um, and along the way, he said something to the effect of, "You shouldn't have got pregnant so long." And then we have to come back to the reality of, I was 14 years old when this stuff happened. So, um, and it wasn't something that I jumped out the window and was like, yeah, let's do this or whatever. Because I'm looking at my kids now, and it's like, who wants, I could never imagine one of my kids at the age of 14 being pregnant. Looking at the way kids do things, the way they still irresponsible at age 14. Some of them are very responsible, but at the end of the day, they are kids. Um, just the thought of it is just like kids still be playing with baby dolls and stuff like that. When you that age, you want to comb dolls' hair and all of that stuff. But nobody is mature. Well, you can be because of the situation that I grew up in. Is like it was that's what I was. You babysit everybody kids, get everybody kids. That's that's what you do. And so in some ways, not you know I was prepared, but I'm not. But I'm looking at my kids, um, and I've raised 14 children. I would not want any of my kids to be pregnant or be having a baby anywhere during that time. For me, my heart goes out to the ones that made it to 18, um, and you got pregnant at 18. For me, it's just like only because I knew the things that I went through. Um, it wouldn't be something that I would be excited about in my kid because I know like there's so many things in life that you can experience and you can do. And a child is absolutely a blessing, but a child will absolutely change your life in ways that you cannot imagine. You can't do the same things. You can't go and hang out with your friends. You can't do things that kids do no more. You can't just be a kid, or whatever. And when you get 18, it's like that's like when you gain like your freedom and you able to 18 solidifies that I'm of age, but still at that point it's like you're not a grown up, but it gives you like that's like your license to be able to go out into the world. And it's basically like I don't know, what would you say? It's like you can't 18 is like the time I get to do what basically I want to, but you really don't get to do what you want to, especially if you living inside your parents' household or whatever. There's still rules or whatever, but there's a different level of what you can and can't do. That's say that's the age when you're an adult. No such thing as a perfect parent. Absolutely right. But and the thing is what we was talking about. There is no perfect parent, but what the conversation we was having, when the things come up that I know that I could have done better, and I didn't do, and the things that my kids point out that they didn't like. When they say they ain't like it or whatever, I ain't gonna sit here and make them feel like they dumb or whatever for having the opinion that they have. When they feel that way and I feel it in that moment, I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to eat from that plate and I'm going to apologize about it, and then we going to move forward from there. My son tonight was like, "Ooh, I finally won one." I was like, "Boy, crazy." But I was like, it is what it is. I can acknowledge my wrongs, but when I know I'm right. I'm still a parent. I was not your friend. I was here to raise you. So we won't never get that misunderstood. We all have messed up, but that's how you learn. Absolutely. Uh Josh Gonzalez, you said we're so hairstyle. I don't understand what you're saying. You're gonna have to type that again. You can't take the batteries out and put them on a shelf and play with them when you're ready. You can't take the batteries out and put them on a shelf and play with them when you're ready. Oh, okay. I get it, Marjorie. You are right about that. And hello to you anyways, fly girl. um Absolutely not. When you have them, they belong to you. And you absolutely right. It ain't like that project that you have at school, um where they set a time where that baby gonna cry and the baby gonna do that. No, we talking about real life, because you don't even treat them little babies what they used to send you home with the projects and stuff, like you used to. They had went to one point where you took an egg home and you was taking care of the egg. It ain't nothing like that, because that egg ain't gotta sleep in the bed with you at nighttime. You can sit it on the shelf. You got a baby, you got a baby. You got a responsibility to put up with. And that's just, if it happened to one of my kids, I would embrace it. But I definitely wouldn't encourage it, and I would not be that excited about it. I would, the baby come, absolutely, I'm gonna be grandma to the nth degree. But also I would be mourning the time when that you've lost this. It's like I enjoy actually watching my kids that don't have no kids experience the world, be able to go on trips. You can make mistakes like what you making because you don't got no kids. You ain't responsible for no kids. You know, when you become a parent, it'll put a halt on you being able to go out and have different experiences or whatever without having to ask somebody, can you babysit this and babysit that, and then you get mad, they get mad because you don't want to babysit. Because guess what, that I done raised my kids. These are not my kids, you know. And sometimes you have kids have babies, and there's an expectancy that, oh, grandma and granddaddy gonna get them all the time. No, baby, when you have a baby, it is a blessing to be able to reach out to a grandparent of any type, and you trust them with your kid, and you let them watch your kids. They able to watch your kids for you. But it's not something that that's not something that you are, what you call it, it's not something somebody got to do for you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I think y'all understand what I'm saying. Um, I don't know what Jose Gonzalez talking about right now. Okay. Keep it in line, because I'm feeling like Jose Miss Gonzalez, Mr. Gonzalez, or whatever you in here. Um, I got a little bit of flesh on my shoulder tonight, so if I'm feeling like you in the wrong spirit up in here tonight, and today will not be your lucky day. So please don't bother me. I was 19, and I wouldn't want it for my children. Absolutely not. I was just like, if it happened, it happens, but it's not something that I would be wanting to happen, because I want my kids to experience life. And then the next thing is let me tell you something. I don't had the opportunity um to raise my boys for a little while by myself, and then my husband came along. And let me tell you something, no matter what me and him going through at this day and age, what I can tell you is I wouldn't want to go back by myself. For real. Never ever. There you go, Enoch. Not obligated. Sometimes these kids have kids, and they feel like you are obligated as a grandparent to keep their kids. And that's not how it go. And then they be mad and angry, going off and everything. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There, you're not obligated. Hey, pretty brown. Hey, girl. I respect that, but what could they have been to be a better kid? That goes both ways. Absolutely. We talked about all of that. We talked about all of that. You know, because at one point, like he was telling me about how much they stayed on punishment or whatever. And I always ask them, I say, but there were things that sometimes you I feel like we could have been a little bit more lenient. Until I say to that, God ain't mean for us to be a little bit more lenient, because that's done and over with. We can't change it or anything. But also, you're at the same time pointing out the things that we did wrong. There is no acknowledgement of, yeah, I was messing up as a kid. They start to talk as if they never did anything to deserve to be on a punishment or to get a whooping that we call it, or any of that stuff right there. They start to get into that, and then when you start to point out, but remember, you were doing X, Y, and Z and everything. Oh yeah, well I was doing that. It's like no accountability. So it's like the conversation get wild, and so now it's like they look at you the way you raised kids before. And y'all, let me tell you something. I was trying to make this live where I could actually talk to people, but it wasn't working out for me. So I really would have loved somebody like to come up and speak to me. So I still got to work on that and make that happen before Monday get here and it's time to fry chicken. But in the midst of that conversation, like, you realize that um there's also like this jealousy thing, and you can start to hear it come out. And I don't know if you would call it a jealousy thing, because I think all kids have it. If you have the range and ages of kids like I have, I got kids that's in their 30s. And y'all know I raised my sister. My sister is 39. So I got different ranges of kids from there to down to now 6 years old, right? So how you're raising your kids now, the older ones always looking at, oh, you let them get away with everything. Okay, so you're offended by, or you didn't like how hard we were on you as parents back then, so you want us to do the same thing to them. Is like we don't change and we don't go. With each kid that you have and you raise, you learn different things. You learn to do certain things, what work for you, what don't work for you. And sometimes kids don't get that notion until you start to explain it to them, and some of them don't get it until they have their own children, and then they be like, I'll be like, okay, now you want to talk about it now. It's like they don't want to hear it. You are a parent until you who, let me tell you something, Marjorie. I thought that once they turned 18, I was like, whoo, we made it. One of the things that I always had preferred, because I had two kids before I turned 18, and one of my prayers was I never wanted my kids, and all I prayed for is I never wanted one of them to have a kid under the age of 18. That's all I prayed for. I definitely had higher hopes than that, but all I wanted was, Lord, please don't put us in a situation where one of our kids have a baby before the age of 18. And I thank God that he answered my prayers. So far so good, and I'm trusting that the rest of them gonna go the same way. But it's like the trials and the tribulations get harder, and when they get 18 and older, it's like they need you more, but they put you in a position where they be like, I'm grown, and like they can't hear you, but they don't realize how often they keep coming to you for your help and your wisdom and stuff like that. So to me, I wish I can go back and make all of my kids, you be ready for them to grow up. There's points in your life when you like, I can't wait till these kids, I can't wait till they learn how to walk. I can't wait till they learn how to talk and tell them. Then as soon as they start to learn all of these things, you be like, sit your behind down somewhere. Go over there and shut your mouth, or whatever. It's like the things you be wishing and rushing to happen. That's like, if you got little babies and stuff, don't rush them to grow up, honey child, because when they get older, it's like they need you more when they're older than they ever have before. That's my experience. You mean they are not obligated to babysit? Absolutely. You said it, baby. I was I was a nanny. Me too. I feel like if you do have kids, I definitely need a helping in. I hear that. I wouldn't bring a kid into the world right now. It's upside down. And you know what, it's a lot of people feel like that right now, because things are like, some of the things that I see is like unbelievable. I wouldn't want to bring a kid, but to hear myself say that is like conflicting sometimes, right? And it's conflicting because this another thing that with myself is very conflicting. I got my tubes tied because the babies, the babies kept coming and coming and coming, right? So I was like, but with the last one came with a lot of issues that I never had before. It seemed like everything that I hadn't gone through with all the rest of them, that last one was one hell of an experience. And it was like, okay, because this gonna be your last one, you gonna go through some stuff with this last baby. I done had natural birth and everything. And I just like, when it came to the last one, I had to have a C-section. Everything under the sun was happening. So when I talk about that, it's like for me to like the conflicting part is I say, the Bible says to be fruitful and multiply. And I'm like, Lord, I don't want to multiply no more. I don't want to multiply no more. And even that, when you marry, your husband have to come in and sign a thing. My husband was like, he didn't want to sign the paper. I say, well, then if we ain't signing no paper, then we taking you to get fixed. Cause I don't want no babies. Um a lot of people be having conversations and stuff around me, and they tend to think because when a man gets older that he can't make no babies. Mess around and find out if you want to. Yes, they can make men can make babies for the rest of their life almost, if them little things still be swimming. No. And at the same time, it's like I'll say, I don't want to bring any kids into this world because this world is crazy. So then how do we balance that? Well, I'm off the balance beam because I can't have no more. And let me stop saying that I can't have no more, because I know two people personally that got their tubes tied and got them burnt. And they still came loose. And they both of them had children again. And they was fit. Got the tubes tied. One of them had their tubes tied for 15 years. Tubes came loose and had a baby. Hopefully y'all can hear me again. Tubes came loose and they had a baby. So yeah, that's something else. Yeah, I wouldn't want to bring one. I'm scared for the little ones that I have right here right now, is with how the world is changing and all of the stuff that they doing. It's like now you gotta know what the inside of a book say and everything. And have y'all done any research to know like what kind of books they actually have? Books in school, like not no longer books that's like for kids and stuff. These kids can read about different positions grown folks in the bedroom, uh how to orally satisfy somebody. Books in school like that. Do your research and just look it up. It's so many crazy things that's happening in this world, and it's just like, what in the world? LOL, I ain't even close to having one. I hate don't child. All I would say is don't be willing to do it alone. And I'm saying, put a ring on it before you decide to go and do it, because I've done it before by myself, and the babies are so cute and so loving. But then it ain't meant for you. In my opinion, it ain't meant for you to do it alone. That's why I take two people to make one. Each one has their job. And when you're trying to do a job that's meant for two people alone, it can become very, very stressful. They have to understand times are different. Absolutely. And the chastisement is different for each kid. For sure, because each kid is different. I can tell you, I don't got two kids that do this that do the same thing. My kids, so they so different from each other. Some of them you look at and you be like, did they give me the wrong baby at the hospital or whatever? But you know, you look at them and they look just like you or whatever. So you ain't really made no mistake or no nothing like that right there, but it's just they are so totally different from each other. Certain kids need to be spanked and some need to raise your voice a little bit and some need to get that look. I got all of them. My younger kids, you ain't never had you can count you can't even count a time when you had to spank them or nothing. It's just like they just knew. It's like, no, I don't want it. I don't want to get in trouble, no nothing. They seen it for what it is. But sorry about that. Yeah, all of those things right there, I didn't experience that. Hey, Sonya. I done experienced all of those things with each one of my kids. Um, yeah, I don't. Let me tell you something. Everything is different. It's like right now. It's like my 6-year old thinks she can beat the 16-year old. She literally want to fist fight with her, and it's like, no, she's 10 years older than you. You don't get to do that. Like, where did you learn? Where did you learn that you can windmill at age 6? With a 16-year old, like, no, you can't do that. It's like you gotta sit back and chill and know your place, because we look at it at any rate, and I see, like, sometimes kids get away with things like hitting on somebody that's like these big years older than them. And in actuality, if you get them in a setting and somebody ain't looking, because some people be different. People be different behind closed doors, which is a thing that I cannot stand. I can't stand it with a passion. Why can't I stand it with a passion? Is because it was something that's done to me. When I'm on the inside of the house, I couldn't do nothing right. But then when I get out in public, you treat me like a princess or something like that. When I get out and open, I can't stand that. The way that I am with my kids on the inside, I'm gonna do the same thing on the outside, and call whoever you want to call, do whatever it is that you want to do. Not that I had so many of those issues or whatever, but in order for me to know that that's how I rock like that, I don't get right out in public. And the way that I rock with you at home is the way that I'm gonna rock with you out here. Don't play with me. But I don't know how all of a sudden the 6-year-old think, okay, I can stand up to her and I can just windmill and I can I can fight her if I want to. And I'm just like, we not doing that over there, because 10 years is a big gap in between. And I always put it in perspective like this: is I finished raising my sister. Hey, Crystal. I put it into perspective by I finished raising my sister Shalissa, that be in my chat sometimes, and there's a 10-year difference between us, and she shows me a lot of respect sometimes, like now in life, that she is who she is. I want to see her as a sister, and I don't necessarily want to be like a mother figure for her, but it's already there. Hey, Phoenix, thank you for the flowers. um I want to what I want to be with her is, I just want to be sisters right now. I still hold her accountable like I do any of my other kids and everything like that. But I just want to be a sister to her. But it's like now it's just like I just got this place in her heart, is where she always treat me like I'm her mother or something, to a certain degree. Um so I look at me and her relationship and understand, like, the respect that is between the two of us. Not only does she respect me, but I respect her too. When I see this type of situation going on, I think in my mind, had she been able to disrespect me in that way, how it would have been hell on wheels trying to raise somebody that's able to disrespect you in that way. And so for me myself, I think that um kids that are older definitely should have a level of respect that comes to them, because as a parent, you don't figure out how to get to this place where you do things different without the older ones having to go through what it is that they went through to help us as the parents grow into that better place of wisdom of how to do things. So, it's just like the elder people that came before us or whatever, it's certain things they went through to be able to teach it to us, for us to get the wisdom you know from us to do some things different or whatever. So that's the way I see things. But y'all, I'm just going on and on and on. I literally came on here to do yeah, and thank you, Crystal. Thank you. um I came on here. I literally wanted to have conversations with y'all where y'all be able to hit the link. Phoenix, I tried it, and for whatever reason, it's not showing me to the bottom where I'm able to go ahead and click the live or whatever. So it kept messing up, and I tried it like four times. So I don't know, maybe I have to do it on my tablet versus doing it on my phone. So I don't, Miss Coffee. Hi, girl. You giving much love and respect to Enoch. Why I want to kiss all over your head. Hey, Shauna. Hey, Miss Coffee. Yes, that I got a head. I'm little Bill now. Hey, little Bill. How have you been? But I came on here and I was trying to set up but y'all know, like, I be like the mouth of the South. I can come up with some things at times. Like today I feel like thank you. Today I feel like I'm like motor mouth. And I guess that come with the conversation after having such conversations um with your kids or whatever. Um bring up so many things. Some of them you want to talk about and some of them that you don't, but I feel like a motor mouth tonight, and I would have loved to be able to create a link so we can get on the link and like we can talk to each other about anything. But I just came on here to do this right here, and then see, can I do the thing where you can hit the link and come up here. And for whatever reason, it wasn't working out for me tonight. So I got to keep on trying to. So I might be posting, unposting, and trying to figure out how I can get this thing done. But it ain't working. 16 years apart, we have a bond that's, I'm not sure, but she doesn't want to cuss around me. See, that's the same thing when I say, it's like she look at me, my sister look at me as a sister slash mother. But hey, Fish and Ray. And at this time in my life, it's like I want her to be free in a way where she talk to me like a sister, which she do. But it's like sometimes there's like a hesitation, because it's like in her eyes, it's like she don't want to disappoint me in certain things or whatever. And I never want to be the one that get in the way of her being able to live her life and make her mistakes and stuff like that. But what I want to do through her mistakes or whatever, I want to be able to talk to her and give her the wisdom that I have inside of me. But it's like at a certain point, like she didn't say cuss words or none of that stuff like that. She treated me like a mama. And then one day it's just like I feel like something was in me. Is just like, I'm getting tired of being like that. I just want to be a sister. And literally I just started crying about it. I don't want to be your mom or anything. I just want to be what God put you on this earth to be, which I'm talking to myself now. It's like, I just want to be what God put you on the earth for. Well, this is the the relationship that God wanted us to have, for me to be able to help guide her in the things, that she do and everything. And then one day we woke up. Once I said that to her, I guess she got like, she started to feel like a little bit different, cuz I don't try to restrict how nobody communicate. I don't try to stop nobody for saying cuss words, because y'all do know from time to time I'll come on here and I can say a whole bunch of cuss words. I be trying to get better with that, but every now and then, sometimes I just want to say what I want to say, and I don't want to care about what nobody think about it, or no none of that. I'm human, and it is what it is. So I love when I'm able to talk to somebody and they able to say exactly what it is they say. I like to meet people where they at, if that makes sense. I don't care what it is that I'm doing or how I feel. Like I'm even telling you that you need to stop it, girl. um you need to stop. um I like to meet people. I like to meet people where they are. I don't like to push. Like, what I'm doing is, like, if maybe one day you might be angry or something, you going through something, and you need to say what it is to say. I'm the type of person that I look at teachers. When I was growing up, I would try to act a different way when you get in front of teachers. Like, I put them up on like this high pedestal. It's like, oh, you can't do that in front of the teacher. You can't do that. I used to be, and I still am. And you have to understand what I'm saying. I'm very respectful. I show up with respect everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I show up with respect. I always have this smile on my face. Um, I do. Now, it can be easily wiped away, or unless I'm showing up in a situation where I was already, not smiling before I got there. But I always show up with respect. But when it come down, I used to, basically what I'm saying, because I don't want y'all to take like this the wrong way. I A pastor, a judge, anybody, you can't put them in a place of almost as if like they better than you, is what I'm saying. That's what um thank you very much. Thank you. You can't put them in so much of a high regard that they can't make mistakes. They ain't human and stuff no more. So for me, I learned through life, going through different life situations, that I don't care who you is. I don't care who you, if you a pastor and I'm feeling some type of way, then you supposed to know that sometimes the flesh will jump in, and that you will be saying every anything, any cuss word in the book. I feel like they should be able to be in the position that they shouldn't put themselves in such a high regard where they think nobody can't come and say. Because if you a pastor, ain't you out here looking for the ones that ain't saved, that ain't looking to go that way? Or are you looking for everybody that be around you, that's already Holy Ghost filled and sanctified and all of that there kind of stuff right there? So it's like, when I see people as human. But you got some of them, and I done ran into a couple of them. And let me tell you something, I use my word just like, because baby, you human just like me. In the same way God love you, he loved me too. And after I cuss you out, he still gonna love me. He might chastise me. I might turn around and slip on a banana peel when I turn around and walk away from you. But he loved me the same way that he loved you. And if you don't got no respect for me, then you probably ain't gonna get no respect from me. But I do, and I will try and do it in a respectful way. But I'm saying, I'm human. We all human, just like anybody, just like hopefully the rest of the people that walk. Miss Coffee, you already know. Signed the Reverend's wife, LOL. Yes, we human, looking for absolutely. Tammy, is you out here looking for the ones that's already already got it all together, or is you out here looking for the ones that's lost? And I and sometimes people put these people in such high regard. You can go on this internet and you can hit any button and you can list any one of those names that I just said to you, even the police. And it's a video on here for every last one of them that's jacked up and messed up. And how many of us know the pastor you be sitting in up under the church, he's sleeping with everybody in the church. The police that supposed to be protecting your rights is violating every right that you got, and ready to slam you in a heartbeat. Um, you got judges that's just as jacked up as any of them. That's why I'm just saying. Not just name, you got teachers that's doing jacked up things. You can't tell me you can't hit now one of them up and not know that we, all of us here, making mistakes. We all do. So I just meet people where they are and realize that people are just human. I'm human. I used to beat myself up about trying to be perfect. And honey, I can tell you, trying to tote perfect around, you ain't gonna never leave the gym. You doing a workout every day, all day. If you're carrying perfect, trying to stay perfect, you in the gym working out every day, all day. That's what you doing. That's what you're doing. And after a while, you will get tired. And all of those weights that you toting around from the gym, you'll be able to throw them down somewhere. And then after a while, you won't even know how you got to the spot that you got to, because that's something heavy. And now I'm not interested. I'm not interested in being perfect. I ain't interested in the person that's in front of me being perfect. But yeah. I don't even know how I got on this conversation. That's why I say sometimes you got to just just start talking. Got to always go back for one. Yeah. Let me see. I check them anyway. They men and women first before anything. Absolutely. I get up every morning, put my pants on the same way any of the rest of them do. You know, give them much respect. Who during the time that my older kids was going to school and one of the teachers step out of line or something like that. One teacher I saw before was in my daughter's email. Her email telling her that if she ever wanted to leave home, she got a place at her house. Oh, okay then. Woo, we going all the way to the school, and oh, you better not text my daughter. Hey, just like that. That's what it was. Oh, you better not send another email to my daughter ever. Who you think you is offering her somewhere to stay? You hearing this child's story, you don't know what's going on at home. When a child wants you to get on their side of their story, they gonna tell whatever story that it is they want to. But you offering her a place to live. I don't think that's what your job is. If you figured something was going wrong, you should have called them numbers. I'd rather for you to go ahead and send CPS to my house. And at the time, they had already been there. I don't know how many times at that point. But you, as a teacher, in my daughter's email, telling her that she can come and stay with you. Oh no, I'm finna come talk to your boss. I'm coming to talk to your boss. Yeah. So I don't know, but y'all, I done came on here with my ranting and going over and over. I probably done bounced to 500 different stories in one single thing. But yeah, there is no perfect person. There is no perfect parents. We all gonna make mistakes. Some mistakes be worse, way worse than others, that it deserved to keep some of us parents. up at nighttime from the things that you did. And some of us made just simple mistakes that um we didn't know that there's a different way to do it. Um but at the end of the day, we all human, and none of us, whether you're a regular regular smegular, like I always say for myself, regular smegular human like myself, you're a police officer, you're a pastor, you're a judge, whatever you want to be, we still are all people, we human, and we all imperfect, period. That's why I'm glad I don't have daughters, because man, it wouldn't be good for whoever. Ooh, raising Enoch, raising daughters is like the scariest thing. And it's extra scary for me because I know what I went through. I know what's out there. And I don't know everything. I don't know everything that's out there, but just point blank, period. It's scary. And you know how some people have, you have one standard for your girls and one standard for your boys. Not me. I had a standard all the way across the board. The same way I wanted my girls to not be touched, because I don't know if you can say those words. You wanted them to be pure. I wanted my boys to do the same thing. And some of them made it all the way across the mark, and some of them didn't. But you know, thank God for whatever it was. That's the standard that I had set, because you know what, when you get introduced to those things in life, you don't know the things that you actually stacking on to the stuff that you already got going on in your life. Once they enter you, um y'all share something that will never ever go away for the rest of your life. I don't care what you do. You done already shared that space. It's like you become one in that moment with that person. That will never ever go away. So for me, I never wanted that for any of my kids. But these days there's not a lot of value. There's not a lot of value of being pure. Um, you know, until marriage comes anymore. And some of us see it, you look at it one way and then you don't really understand it until you get older, that it makes so much sense to be able to do that, because the less problems you have to deal with all of these different spirits that you be playing around with out here in this world. um you are right. We just have to learn from our mistakes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Learn from our mistakes. The problems that I don't like is when you did something wrong and your kid standing in front of you and you don't take no accountability for it. I don't like that. I ain't like it being done to me. That's why if my kid push a plate in front of me and there's something on there that I can take accountability for, I'm gonna eat from that plate. Yep, I could have did it different. Yep, I did that wrong. You're right. You're right. I'm gonna acknowledge what they saying to me, which is something I never get. And the conversations that my kids have with me, anybody that's around my age know, you better not say nothing. You might be laid out somewhere, something thrown across the room or something. You say anything about that, parents couldn't be wrong. They don't make mistakes. um and the things what they used to come up with and say, um well, you complaining about that, we used to get beat with this and we used to get beat with that. Wrong. Wrong. Did you like when you got beat with this and you got beat with that? And so it's like you acknowledge um their things. Me, I'm gonna tell you how I made it through not to do the same things to my kids that my mama did to me. And not just my mama, I say my mama and them, which means it's several of them. um how I changed it was With every action that I get ready to do, there was a thought that came in my mind. Did you like it when it was done to you? And if you didn't like it, do it different. There's many ways to do many different things. Enoch named a lot of those things in the chat earlier. There's many ways to do it different. And you don't got to make those same mistakes that your parents made. You going to make mistakes, but they don't got to be the same ones. You can do it different. And so that's how I made it through with all of my kids, thinking to myself is that I don't want, what I don't want is I don't want the story that I tell. And you know, a lot of people be like, you shouldn't talk about your mama, or you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't say do that. She ain't here to defend herself. I'm not talking about my mama. Remember, I'm a part of that story. It happened to me. And I can't wake up today and change what happened yesterday. It's a part of my story. It really happened to me. Y'all ain't never heard me come on here and I'm screaming and yelling about what my mom did, cuz I'm not talking about it out of hate. I'm talking about it in hopes that somebody who may still be doing those things, or they think that the things that they may be doing is the right thing to do, and everybody is on your side. Because you know, sometimes you get around people and other people be, yeah, if he was my zone, then I would be whooping a child. Ain't always the answer to every single thing, not at all. And that's, but you know, that's what you saw. It's different things that you can do. You get ignorant people who like try to egg you on to continue to do those things, when you need to put yourself in a position where you're around people that can teach you there's different ways to do this same particular thing, and you can still get a result. Because at the end of the day, the same way I can tell my stories about what happened to me, I don't want my kids to have the story that I have about my mama. And my kids don't like the stories that I tell about my mama, because they don't have the same story with my mom that I had. So somewhere along the line, she learned from the things that she had done to me. And on top of it, I would have never accepted the things that my mom was doing to me for her to do it to my kids. She never even tried it or no nothing. When it comes down to it, I can truly say she was a great grandmother, in my opinion. And I could still say she made some mistakes, because I would tell my kids they couldn't have something and she'll turn around and she'll give it to them. And I'm just talking about like little things like snacks and stuff like that. You know, that's what grandmas do. Um they don't see her, the same way. So um thank you very much. They don't see her in the same way, and I'm glad that they don't see her. I'm glad they don't have the same story. So sometimes, you know, when you talk about it, they're in disbelief that not my grandma, you know what I'm saying? And so, and you know, I'm fine with them having whatever opinion it is that they have. You know, I've been told before, but I don't like when you talk about grandma like that. You know, okay then. All right. I'll leave it I'll leave it alone, but I don't talk about those stories as if, you know, like I'm going off on something. There is times you can be triggered by something, but and you are where you are at that time, but you get past it, and ultimately you're not angry about it. You having a moment at that time, because sometimes you ain't dealt with all of those things that are deeply embedded in yourself. You just haven't dealt with it yet, and so you have to deal with it in your way, in your own time, when it come up. So I used to have a bad temper, Alrighty, now I've worked on it, and God has helped me along the way. I had this conversation last night. Something in me last night was coming up, and I certain times I want to let things happen and let God do them, but sometimes that temper or that anger comes up, that you want to make people pay for the things that you did. But what keeps me grounded too is I also know that God deal with me in ways when I do stuff that I know I'm supposed to be waiting on. If I try it, there's always a consequence. You know, when you get if you get a whipping with a belt or something, you can run around and probably get miss a couple of licks or something like that. But honey, when you getting chastised by God, you ain't got a chance in hell of missing. You ain't got a chance in hell of missing and one of them licks. Every one of them gonna get you. And so because I know that He deal with me in those times, sometimes it get the best of me and I fall out of line. And sometimes He give me grace on those things, but it is the thing that keep me in line, from doing a lot of the things, with the anger that is on the inside of me. So you understand that sometimes that anger that be on the inside of you, that bad temper, it get the best of you, and you need God to help you work work through those things because it is not easy. Um, Let me see. I lost my but along the way, but I have this man laying dormant, that tries to come out, but I have to keep him locked up because man, I am a different person. I know that's right. Now that's what it is. It be that other person. That's why people, when people say they be when people say you bipolar or whatever, I accept it because what is bi is two. um and I guess the polar part is like you have two different people on the inside of you. I think we all have two different people on the inside of us, and every day we get up and we make a conscious choice. Is you gonna follow this person over here that wants you to do the wrong thing, or is you gonna follow this one over here that's telling you to do the right thing? Because there's a choice with every question or thing that you have to do on a day-to-day basis, that you have to make a conscious choice to either do it the right way or the wrong way. And that's just period. So it's like when people be like, girl, you bipolar or whatever. Okay, I'll take it. Probably not in the form of you trying to diagnose me like I'm some kind of doctor or no nothing, but yeah. Um I'm scared when he comes out because he can be a monster. Well, well, yeah, can be, and it, and sometimes like it, sometimes, and what, this another thing, Enoch. Once he come out, do you know how hard it is to wrestle that monster and put him back in the box? Who? Once you let him come out, it ain't like you just can, in the next second you can just put him back in the box. It don't work like that. Once you let him out and let him set him free to roam and do what he do. And yeah, I'm talking about it like it's in the third person. It's not the third person. It's something that's on the inside of you. Once it get loose, you got to chase it down to grab it and put it in the headlock and put it back in the box. It just don't shut down like that. How I know? Cause I done been there. I done been there. I done sat quiet and quiet and quiet and quiet and quiet, and all of a sudden that monster came out of that box, and it was hard to put her back away. Very hard. Yeah. So I try not to let her. I try not to let her out too. When she come, it's like she can put up a black wall, and it's almost like you can't see and you can't understand nothing that she doing. It's on and popping now. It is what it is. That's how it is when you let the beast out. I call her the beast. That's what I call her. You say the monster, I call her the beast. If the beast come out, yeah, cause you know, like when I show up to places and I'm always smiling. I'm always not necessarily always happy, but I'm always like willing to be in a happy space. Space. I always have a smile on my face. And sometimes when you show up in that way, um, your kindness can be taken as a weakness. And then you have to wipe that smile away. And you know, sometimes I've been in a place where I know what they aiming for. I know they aiming to take away my smile. They don't want me to smile. They don't want me to be happy. And when I can catch on to it at those times, yeah, I walk away and I can walk away smiling. Cause sometimes some of the words and stuff people say, they want it to hit you in a place they want to steal your joy. They after it. And sometimes you being tested, especially when you've been a person that's been through some of the things that I am, you being tested to become better than what you already are. So the tests are going to show up for you to know, boy, I done changed. I done changed. uh I can't control him. I don't try him. Yep. But is that your experience, Enoch? If he get out, you catch hell trying to put him back away. You catch hell trying to put that thing back away. I call her the beast. Oh, the beast done came out, and now you gonna catch it. You know, until I can chase her down and be able to put her back in, and that comes along with a whole bunch of talking, a whole bunch of the right people coming along to make sense of to make sense of. Listen, I have a story on here that can explain exactly like how in moments that I just smiled and I was nice to everybody, and then this certain situation comes up, and here it is. I can't take it no more. This story is called Miss Maddie. I think it's up under my videos. It could be alive, but under my in my thing, I got so many videos I don't even know. But it's called Miss Maddie. At this In this story, I'm ready to let the beast out, and literally, I was ready to let the beast do whatever the beast gonna do, because I done been so nice to these people. I never said anything out the way and no nothing, and for whatever reason they just keep coming for me, keep on doing things, and the crash out was coming. That's why when I see people who be like crashing out and everything, and you look at it and you be like, they acting so stupid or whatever. um but then you have to think, dang, I wonder what happened to them today. How did they get to that place? So, um, I definitely been in a place, and there has been several times that I done been in places and did in the midst of doing some things that I know. I'm telling you, if some of the things that I was in the midst of getting ready to do, God didn't have people set in those places at the right time, half of my children wouldn't even exist, because I would be doing prison time without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. I done been in places where my arm done been up in the air and it's coming down, and my hand have a knife in it, and a man caught my arm mid-air that was taller than me, and then it turned into a fight, me fighting him to get this thing back. So if that ain't a beast or a monster coming out, I'm telling you, the things that happen in my life done placed enough. It's like putting gasoline on the inside of you and saying, go. You got all the fuel you need. I don't need no more fuel added on to it. Um, and it just becomes a point when I don't want to accept no more disrespect. I don't want to accept anybody doing anything else wrong for me. It's just be a time. It's just like you black out and I'm ready to let the beast do whatever the beast do. Yeah. So I just like from time to time I like to remind people that yeah, I show up here with a smile a lot of the times, but what they say sometimes you don't know what's hidden behind that smile, what happens behind that smile. I love to smile. I love to talk to people and everything. Um but you will be tested. You will be tested. And you know, I think testing is good. It helps you know where you are in life. So you never know when I will strike. I just strike and people never see it coming. I'm unpredictable. Yep. Yeah. We got an understanding. We know. Yeah. So I don't, you know, I'm a person that I don't go around and I don't try and push people's buttons and get right there. But if you ask me a question, expect to get my opinion um, of how I feel about anything. But other than that, more than likely I'm not gonna add anything unless you close to me or whatever. I ain't finna add nothing to what you going through. You do your thing the way you want to do it. You know, I might be one of those people. I see you getting ready to crash out or something, I might say something to you, you know, to encourage you not to do it. It ain't worth it, because there's been a lot of people that done it for me. Like the Miss Maddie story. I just could not believe that that lady showed up in the way that she did, and she had never been to my house before. But I was getting ready to crash out. Getting ready to crash out. And Miss Maddie saved the day. So she is one of the people that I view in my life. She is an angel that God sent my way. So, well, with all that we talked about tonight, um, it always has something to do with growth. We all can grow through these situations. Stop looking at people as everybody is perfect and all of that good stuff. Look at some of the things that happen to people and pick out some of the things that you can do differently in your life and change and grow from. And you know, grow, because that's what we about over here. We about um growing on the inside and on the outside. um we are also the high class gardeners over here. um and the high class part just means that we don't mess around with no bugs, no snakes, no worms, and no frogs, but we always make sure we're growing something out in the garden. And you know, sometimes those things that I just named that we don't mess with, they show up in human form sometimes. And you have to avoid them, pray for them, whatever it is you see fit that you need to do for them. But the important thing is to continue to grow. That's what we about over here. um Talking about a situation and seeing what we can grow from it, going out there in the garden and putting a seed in the ground and seeing what you can grow with the seed that you put in the ground, you know, those kinds of things like that. If you interested in growing, even me, sometimes I'm not right all the time. I've been corrected and asked not to do certain things right here in my own chat. I'm not no perfect person, and I ain't I'm not a one that's gonna sit aside. I'm now you might try to tell me something. I probably got 550 questions about why you say it that way or whatever. I'm trying to get an understanding. I'm trying to get to understand it in the way that I understand it. We allowed to ask questions over here. I say all the time, over here you can ask me questions over here, but I also maintain the right. We adults over here. I maintain the right to say to you, I don't want to answer that. You know, but we talk over here. So if you're interested in, being a high class gardener, then come on over here and subscribe to Life with Tashana, and don't forget to hit that like button on your way in or out. Um, let's see what else I don't forgot to say. Yeah, I know it's been a long time since I've been in the garden, and my heart, even though I'm not out in the garden, my heart is always there. So I'm constantly thinking about getting back to the garden. But we gonna see about that. I can't move too far from it. Okay, Lord, anything the devil try to come against us with, I ask that you us keep your protection around us. I ask that you give us a stronger discerning spirit to know who's good for us and the ones that are not. We ask that you remove them. We thank you for all the things we take for granted. We pray for divine healing, and we ask you keep everyone safe as they go to and from. We love you, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, Enoch, for always closing us out with, you always know the right time to put them prayers in there to send us out with a great prayer. I love the people that come in here and put a scripture in the chapter. We ain't no church, and we ain't no perfect people over here, but we growing every single day, and we need, the word is like watering your plants when they plant it so you can grow. Right. um yeah, that's right. Amen, Miss Coffee. Even Miss Coffee used to, back in the day, she used to be coming to drop her prayers right on and I pray over everybody. Yes, ma'am. We need all of that. But I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here, and I'm gonna try to figure out, because I can't figure out how to make this live where, like, I can invite people up, where I can drop the link over. It's a link that you're supposed to post on your community wall, and then they be able to hit it and be able to come up and talk. I done tried to do it on my phone, so I guess I'm gonna spend the rest of the night keep on hitting buttons and trying to figure out how to get that done. After a while, I'm gonna figure it out, or I'm gonna be on the phone on a conference call again trying to figure out one more time. But I know I followed the steps of what I was told to do last night, but for whatever reason, it's like my screen is cutting it off at the bottom some kind of way. So, but I figured out, we're gonna figure it out before Monday get here, when we supposed to fry chicken on Monday together. So and for those of y'all who wanna, if you ain't never, I'm finding out it's a lot of people ain't never fried chicken before. If you want to learn how to fry chicken, go to my video that tells you, because Monday we are going to fry chicken together. If you want to know what your ingredients is that you need and what you need to do to be prepared for Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, you can go to the end of that video and find out what you need to get together so we can learn to fry chicken together. We gonna be on screen teaching how to. We ain't doing all that extravagant stuff. We already talked about, sometimes you don't know where this road leads you to, but you know this road and you know how to get home from this road. After a while, you start taking little branches off from that road and you learn different paths. Later on, after you learn just how to fry chicken, you can go ahead and make those extra steps and start doing your buttermilk chicken, your hot wings, and all of that different stuff right there, or whatever. We gonna see about if we make this a thing where we learn how to, different things you don't know how to cook. Miss Shauna, that's a part of growing, right? You don't know how to fry chicken, but you asking somebody, you know how to fry chicken? Yeah, I know how to fry chicken. I'll teach you what it is that I know. We all about growth over here. So if somebody else come in here and ask, have you ever cooked this before? If I know how to do it, I'll show you how I know how to do it. And then you may branch off and say, well, child, I added this to this right here. That's growth. Each one teaching one. So anything that I can help in the area to grow in, I'm always willing to help in that place. So, well, y'all, that's going to be what I'm saying for tonight. Thank y'all for joining Life with Tashana, where life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. You never know. Cut like a double-edged sword. Every time one of my kids open the door, I get a little flying moth or something coming here. But anyways, y'all, I love y'all. Y'all have an amazing night. And remember to keep growing. Love y'all. Y'all have a good night.